What's up everybody and welcome to the Going Gear YouTube channel. Today we are checking out the Acebeam H35 headlamp. The H35 has a ton of different modes and functions and may just be the most versatile 18650 headlamp on the market. This headlamp boasts 5 different LEDs and has a 46mm light surface that reduces shadows and glares. This light is also USB-C rechargeable and boasts an IP68 dust and waterproof rating. And of course it sports an adjustable elastic headband. Let's go ahead and take a closer look at the size and physical dimensions of this headlamp. And of course, before we get too far, you can grab your very own H35 in the description down below at goinggear.com. Now this is a relatively lightweight headlamp coming in at only 5.7 ounces, and that's with the mounting bracket as well as a battery, which is an 18650, and the headband altogether. The light is 87mm long, or just under 3.5 inches. It has a height of 44.3mm, or right around 1 3/4 inches. It's also 40mm, or right around 1.5 inches wide. Let's do some quick size comparisons. So first up, we have the i3T from Olight, just a great AAA flashlight, as well as the Welltool T1 Pro Tac. This is the Going Gear exclusive green color. You can see not too much wider overall than those two. Both the i3T and the T1 Pro Tac also make a good headlamp in a pinch because they have reversible clips. You can throw those on a baseball cap. Keep in mind that's not going to be as good as a headlamp. All right, now before we take this light outside, let's go over the technical parameters and the operational instructions. We're going to go over the maximum potential output in each mode using the included 18650 battery from Acebeam. You can see that the max output in the turbo mode is 2600 lumens, which it can sustain for 60 seconds before dropping down to 1100 lumens, which it can sustain for 9 minutes, which then drops down to 500 lumens, which it can maintain for 3 hours and 50 minutes. The turbo mode has a max throwing distance of 170 meters, and that's at 7,225 candela. In the high mode, we're looking at a max output of 920 lumens with a 20-minute runtime, and that has an overall throw of 85 meters. Keep in mind that after the first 20 minutes, it's going to drop down to 320 lumens, which it can sustain for 6 hours. And that's with a max candela of 1,806. The initial output for the medium mode is going to be 320 lumens, which it can sustain for roughly 40 minutes before dropping down to 110 lumens for the next 20 hours. It has a max throw of 52 meters and a max candela of 676. The low mode offers an output of 110 lumens for 22 hours with a 35 meter throw at 306 candela. The ultra low or moonlight mode is going to have an output of 10 lumens, which it can sustain for 216 hours. And both of our red light modes are going to be pretty similar. We've got the standard red light and then the red blinking SOS mode. The standard red light is going to start with 200 lumens and then drop down after 10 minutes to 100. The red SOS mode is similarly going to start at 200 lumens and then drop down to 50 after 10 minutes. Both red light modes have a max throw of 63 meters and a max candela of 992. Now really quickly, let's go over the operating instructions. One click on the left button is going to turn our light on, and this does have a memory mode, so it's going to stay at whatever mode you last used. And you can use the cycle button on the right to switch through different modes. Hold the power button on the left to get into the moonlight mode, and we can double click that same button from off to get us into our turbo mode here. You can see that's super bright. Next up, from the off state, we're going to click that left power button 3 quick times, and that's going to enter into the red light SOS mode here. Next, we're going to use our power button on the left to turn the light back off, and then we'll turn it right back on. And then we can hold the cycle button on the right to switch into the red light mode. So we're just going to hold that down, and there you go. There's the red light mode. Hold the cycle mode button down on the right again, and we'll get right back to our standard mode. It's pretty easy. You can see again, we'll hold that down and we're right back to the red light mode. Now it took me a minute or two to get used to the operations, but it's pretty intuitive and I haven't had any issues after playing around with it for a little bit. Let's take one last look at it before we take it outside, and it is worth noting that this is adjustable, so we can change the actual angle of the light, which is really nice, especially depending on how close you are to what you're working on. And we can get one more view of that mounting bracket, which attaches the light to the band. Without any further ado, let's go ahead and take this light outside and we can get a good idea of what these beams look like. All right, first up we have the low mode. We're going to enter just from clicking, and that's going to remember the last time the flashlight was on, and that was on the low mode. So here we are. This should be right around 110 lumens. And one more click brings us to the medium mode. Being that this is a freshly charged battery, this should be right around 320 lumens. And next up, we're going to click the cycle button on the right one more time, and that is going to bring us into the high mode here. So one more click. and you can see that it is a good bit brighter. Again, this should be around 920 lumens with a freshly charged battery. And really quick back to back, we've got low, medium, and high. Low, medium, and high. Now from the off position, we're going to hold the left power button down, and that's going to enter the moonlight mode. As you can see here, you can't see super well out here because it is very dim. Keep in mind this ultra low moonlight mode is only 10 lumens. Next from off, we'll double click the power button to enter the turbo mode. Remember, this tops out at 2600 lumens and then steps down over time. Now, we're going to turn the light back on, and from this on mode, we're going to click the cycle button on the right, hold that down, and that is going to enter the standard red light mode. So this is the non-blinking standard red light mode. We can check that out. Really good for preserving night vision. Now, if we want to get back to the standard light mode, we're just going to hold down that cycle button on the right again, and that's going to return us to whatever mode we were in before. Keep in mind it has memory, so if we were in medium, it'll return back to medium. Clicking the button 3 times from the off mode, that's the power button of course, sends us into the strobe mode where it's going to blink 3 times in a pattern. We hope you enjoyed this overview of the Acebeam H35 headlamp. Make sure to check it out at goinggear.com, linked below. You can also find a ton of other knives and flashlights at goinggear.com. We are one of the top retailers in the US and internationally for Acebeam, Phoenix, Welltool, and other big flashlight knife brands. You can also check out the #1 gear delivery box. That's the Going Gear EDC Club. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to like and subscribe, and you can stay tuned for more beam shots here at the end of the video, and we'll catch you on the next one.